everyone, my name's Jake and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be doing a haul, which I think I've only ever done one haul on my channel, maybe. This is going to be my, just haul, I guess, for the last couple months. These are all going to be all the books I got for Christmas. That's it. These are all the books I got for Christmas. I have 3 categories for this. I got my books I got from people for Christmas, like specifically received them for Christmas. I got books that I used, gift cards I got for Christmas to buy on Amazon, and then I got a book outlet haul. I used money that I got for Christmas to buy. So I didn't receive these books specifically from everyone, but I used Christmas money and gift cards to buy these books, and some of them I got for Christmas. So we're gonna get into the books that I actually was given physically, these books for Christmas first. So firstly, my roommate actually gave me a whole series, and this is it. The first book is called The Enemy by Charles Higson. So I'm going to put the rest down because I'm struggling. I don't know what the actual series title is, but the first book's called The Enemy, and it's by Charlie Higson. I'm stupid. Basically, he really enjoyed the series, so he bought it for me. I've never heard of it actually before he bought it, and it's 7 books, so I'm really hoping I enjoy the first book. I like zombie movies. I like zombie things. It's very hard for me to find a good zombie book or movie. I don't think I've ever read a good zombie book. The Walking Dead is probably the only good zombie, graphic novel series I've ever read. Well, no, High School of the Dead, which is a manga, but I really enjoy that one too. Anyways, I like zombies, even though it can be done too cheesy sometimes, but this is a zombie series. From what I know, I think it follows this world in which everyone over the age of 14 turned into this, zombie-like type thing, and these 14-year-old and youngers are trying to survive it. That's all I know. They're long. This is over 400 pages. It looks kind of small, and this is the shortest one I think in the series. So they're big boys. I'm gonna give this a shot and see if I enjoy it. I'm actually really looking forward to it because I want me a good zombie book. I like zombies. Let me know good zombie books if you guys have read one down below, but I'm really interested to read about this, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Next up, my sister got me Tomi by Junji Ito. Me and my sister, just recently started really getting into Junji Ito, so that's why she bought me this, but it's one of the editions that I love. I've only read Uzumaki, and I absolutely loved it. Probably one of my favorite mangas of all time now, so I'm really excited to get into this. Don't know too much about it. I know it follows this girl named Tomi who drives men insane. I think they fall in love with her or whatever and basically become murderous, and sometimes Tomi herself is the victim, but even when she's killed, she regenerates. That's really all I know about it. That's all I want to know about it going into it. I'm probably going to read it ASAP because, like I said, Uzumaki, amazing. These bitches are long, but I read Uzumaki fast, and that shit disturbed me. Go watch my, favorites of 2019 video if you haven't already, because I talk about it in that. But I'm very, very, very excited about this. And then my friend Emily got me 2 books for Christmas. These are the last books I was physically given for Christmas. But anyways, first one she got me was The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Let me know down. Anyways, she got me this book, and I'm excited, honestly. This is probably one of the most hyped romances on BookTube, so I knew I needed to read it at some point. It follows our main character, this woman, who I believe is on the autism spectrum, and she basically hires a male escort to teach her about sex and that type of thing. And I think they obviously probably, link up and fall in love. Very hyped to read this. I want to read more adult romance. I always used to say I will never read romance. Romance is not my thing. Won't read it. Then I started reading romance, and I'm like, okay, YA romance is not my thing. Casey West can't do it. This type of romance, they're doing it. They're grabbing me attention. That's all I gotta say. I read Well Met. I read The Honeymooners. Those are the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head. I really enjoyed them both. I think both of those got 4.5 stars from me. Regardless, very excited to read this. And the other one, what's the other one? The Hating Game and Fix Her Up. Those are the 3 that come to my mind when I think of adult romances. And probably The Honeymooners, or just Christina Lauren in general. Regardless, I need to read this, and I probably will soon because I've been hyped. I really want to. And the other book my friend Emily got me was Nixia Uprising, which is the final book in the Nixia trilogy. You guys know, I've talked about it before, but Nixia is one of my favorite series of all time. No, not favorite series of all time. One of my favorite books of all time. I've only read the first book in this trilogy. Now I own the second and the third, and I had the second like an e-arc version of it way back when it came out in like 2018. My ass still didn't read it. I don't know why. I've read Nixia twice. I have this thing where series I love, I'll read the first book and I just won't continue because that's just the type of person I am. I don't know like why I do that. It's kind of crazy, but I really need to. I'm gonna read this soon, I promise. Like, I want to finish this trilogy. It's amazing. And this month, January, Ash Lords, I think, a new series that's got ranked in whatever, however you say his last name. A new series he wrote is coming out, so I need to finish this shit and read that. I already actually got that. It's a book of the month that's coming. I got 4 book of the months coming this month, but I'm not including them in this haul just because it's like my Christmas haul. But yeah, so I need to get those. Or, well, no, I already got that. But I need to read these. You guys know what I mean. Oh, I should tell you what Nixia is about. Nixia basically just follows us a competition where a bunch of people from around the world, a bunch of teenagers, are competing for a spot on this island to mine a substance called, not island, why did I say island? Competing for a spot on a planet to mine this substance called Nixia. The first book completely takes place in a spaceship going up to the planet, and the first book just follows their competition and trying to figure out who's going to be the one to go on this planet. I highly recommend it. It's very good. Love it. If you're a big fan of like competition books, give that a shot. Now we're gonna move on to the 4 books that I bought on Amazon with a gift card. The first book is the Modern Fairytale bind up by Holly Black. So this comes with Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside. So this I think was Holly Black's first series she wrote. I might be wrong about that, but it takes place in Fairyland, or the same world as The Cruel Prince, which is one of my favorite series of all time. And yeah, I've never read it. These covers match her Cruel Prince series covers, so I want to read it. But I haven't heard great things about the series, so I'm a little bit worried. I'll probably listen on audio. The audiobooks are really short, and this is 3 books in like this, so I definitely, and it's only 700 pages, so 3 books, 700 pages. Oh, it's ripped. Whatever. So I'll knock them out on audio. I'm hoping I like them. It follows a side character that is in the Cruel Prince series that actually I was interested to learn more about, so I'm excited that she has her own series, and we're going to read it. The second book that I got on Amazon with a gift card is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I did it. I got it. This I think came out in 2018, maybe 2017. No, I think it was 2018. I don't know. I've been wanting to read it since it came out. Like, this is a book I actively think about, and I'm like, I want to read that, but I never have. So I don't understand my mind. My mind doesn't understand me. We don't get along very well. But I got it finally. I said, fuck you, mind, and I went out and I did the thing. That being said, I don't know what this is about, and I'm not going to even, like, look into what it's about, because at this point, I feel like I just need to say fuck it and read it. I think it, like, it's not like Wilder Girls probably in any way, but in my mind, I associate this with Wilder Girls now, and Wilder Girls was my most disappointing read of 2019, so now I'm kind of worried, but, like, they have nothing to do with each other. In my, like I said, my mind hates me, and that's what it's doing to me right now. But I'm very excited to get to this. It has monsters in it, I think. I want to read more horror this year, and I'm pretty sure this is YA horror. So that's like my main resolution of the year. I'm not doing like a goals of 2020 video, but my main one is I want to read at least 1 horror book a month. No, 2, because I want to read 1 Stephen King and 1 other horror book a month. You guys know it. Hold me to it. Why am I doing this? So I got Sawkill Girls, finally. Next up is Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. So One of Us is Lying was her first book, and I read that. I read that the year it came out. I gave it 4 stars. It was okay. I don't remember really anything. The sequel comes out, I think, next week. It might actually came out yesterday, or 2 days ago. I don't know. The sequel's coming out this month, or came out this month, to One of Us is Lying. This has nothing to do with those books, I don't think, so I need to read. I need to look at all that. Regardless, I got her second book. I'm not 100% positive what this is about either, just because I didn't see a reason to look into it. Like, I enjoyed her first book, so I was like, I'll read her second book. From what I do know, I think it follows this girl that moves to this new town that had, like, a homecoming queen get murdered, like, 5 years before, and her homecoming's coming up in this new town, and I think there's some type of danger surrounding the homecoming. Maybe another girl went missing or something. Regardless, pretty short. I want to knock this out. Karen M. McManus is, like I said, I've only read 1 book by her, and that book is becoming a movie, I think. One of Us is Lying. But I've only read 1 book by her, and she kind of is on my radar, obviously, because I bought her second book, but she's also an author that, like, I'm like, whatever. So I'm going to read this, see if maybe I'll enjoy it more than One of Us is Lying. I'm talking about One of Us is Lying like I didn't like it. And looking back on it, it wasn't memorable at all. I mean, it probably deserves more like a 3-star than a 4-star. 3 stars still decent, but you guys know what I mean. So I don't fucking know. I'm gonna give this a shot. This one actually, the premise sounds intriguing. Like, from the little bit I think I know. So, we'll see. And then lastly, the last book that I bought on Amazon is The Poetex by Elizabeth Acevedo. Literally no idea what this is about. With the Fire and High, my favorite writing style I've ever read. Loved it. My third favorite book of 2019. Amazing. I want to read The Poetex, and I want to read Clap When You Land, I think was what it's called, which is coming out in 2020. I'm going to read anything that Elizabeth Acevedo ever releases, because I've only read one book by her, but I could definitely see her becoming a favorite author of all time. Now, we're moving on to my book outlet haul. So I used my Christmas money, well, not all of it, but I put in a book outlet order because they were having a sale, and I wanted to treat myself since I didn't get a lot of books for Christmas. So I was like, I'm gonna go and buy myself some books for Christmas. So here are what they are. Firstly, I bought volumes 10, 14, and 15 of Magical Girl Apocalypse. This is one of my favorite manga series. Basically just follows this apocalyptic world in which these magical girls came down, each of them with their own type of power, and they're murdering everyone, and that's kind of the world it follows. I only have the first 8, and I've read the first 8, and I saw these for cheap on Book Outlet, so I was like, might as well collect them while I can. So I still need 9, but now I have 10, 13, and 14. So I need 9, 11, and 12, plus 15 onwards, because this series is still being published, I think. Another manga series that I decided to catch up on, or whatever, is Highrise Invasion. So I got the omnibus for 3 and 4, and then the one for 5 and 6. Once again, I have the one for 1 and 2. I read it. I gave it 4 stars. It was really good. This basically follows this girl who wakes up on top of like a high-rise, what are they called, skyscraper, and there's these weird masked people just trying to murder all these people that also woke up on these skyscrapers, and there's no way down. Very weird concept, but I actually enjoyed the first one more than I thought I would, so I got these 2 so I could catch up. The last graphic novel / manga that I got from Book Outlet was Survivor's Club. I'm so excited about this. I've never heard of this until I saw it on there, but like it's blurred by Joe Hill. It sounds amazing. This follows 6 teenagers, or they might be adults at this point. No, they're adults now, so it's 30 years later. They each went through like a horror movie-esque situation. It says the haunted house, the demonic doll, the cursed video game, the monstrous neighbor, the vengeful ghost, and the killer imaginary friend. In 1887, a wave of horror struck 6 communities around the globe. 6 traumatized kids survived those events and grew up haunted by what happened. 30 years later, the 6 survivors are drawn together in LA to confront a terrifying nightmare that has returned, bringing up their own traumas and dragging their dark secrets into the light. Somehow they're all connected, but when personal horrors collide, they'll be forced to confront each other's demons, and then they'll discover that staying alive was only the beginning. I just read you the whole synopsis of that, but does that not sound like epic? I think this is just like 1 volume, like this is it, this is the whole thing. I want to read this so bad. Like, I might literally end this video and go read this. But that sounds epic. Like, literally, like, 6 horror tropes that these people survived. I don't know. Now we're going to get on to the actual books I got. The first one I got was Finale by Stephanie Garber. I haven't even read Carball. I have Carball and Legendary right there, and I saw this for cheap. I haven't read any of them, but I think I'm going to really like it, so I was like, I see it for cheap. Might as well finish the series, even though I haven't done that. I have a tendency to where, especially for trilogies, I will buy the whole series, even though I haven't read any of them, and I just kind of hope for the best. So that's what I'm doing for this, but it follows, you guys know what Carball's about, these 2 sisters, this carnival, this invite, yada yada yada. Very excited. I say I'm very excited, yet I still haven't read them. So next up is This Lie Will Kill You by Chelsea Pitcher. This book I heard about from Books and Lala, which is where I get honestly like 90% of my book recommendations. I don't think she loved this. I'm pretty sure she wasn't a huge fan of it, but it still sounded interesting, so I decided to give it a shot. It follows these 5 teenagers that get invited to this like house where they think they're gonna play this competition to win a big sum of money, but in all of their past there was this big like nightmarish thing that happened that I think they're keeping a secret, kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer type vibe. So they get invited there thinking it's gonna be one thing, but it really turns out to be another, and I think it's like they have to survive or something, or it's like a game that's like a deadly game. My favorite trope is like thrillers or horrors that are about a game. I love that shit. I eat that shit up every single time, and that's what this is. Honestly, I have low hopes going into it, but even if it's just like a mindless entertainment, that's cool with me. Another thriller I got from Book Outlet was Watching You from Lisa Jewell. The Family Upstairs was my favorite thriller of 2019, so I decided I'm gonna read every fucking book that Lisa Jewell ever wrote because I love her, even though I've only read 1 book by her. So this is the only one that they had on Book Outlet, and I don't have no idea what it's about. I've seen this cover before. I've heard people talk about this before, so I'm just going to read it, and I'm not going to look into it. That's like basically how I decided I'm going to read all of Lisa Jewell's stuff, because that's basically what I did with The Family Upstairs, and I ended up loving it, so that's what I'm doing. This next purchase was honestly solely for Angela from Blonde Books, because I need to read this book for her, and that's A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I actually probably wouldn't even be reading this if it wasn't Angela's like favorite book of all time, but she's one of my besties, so I need to read her favorite book. I don't know what it's about. I know it's the Beauty and the Beast retelling. That's all I really know. It's the Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm a terrible person. But I'm gonna read it. We're gonna give her a shot. And I know the second book is coming out soon, or it has already come out. A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I think that's what it's called. Wow, my mind. So I'm gonna give this a shot. Up next is Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. Another thing I want to read more of is like underwater stories. So like mermaids, that sort of thing. So I saw this on Book Outlet. I've been wanting to read it anyway, so I decided to get it. This basically is kind of like Ursula origin story, I think. I don't think she's actually Ursula, but that's what I hear people pitch this as, so that's what I think it is. It says, before she took the mermaid's voice, she gave up her own heart. Oh yeah, so this is specifically, it says, the rise of Hans Christian Andersen's iconic villainess. It's a heart-wrenching story of friendship, betrayal, and a girl pushed beyond her limits to become a monster. I love origin stories, so we're gonna read this origin story. That's what we're gonna do. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at hauls because I'm talking about books I haven't read. I don't like look at like exactly what a lot of books are about before I read them. I kind of just know the general thing and then read them. So I'm sorry that I'm literally terrible at this. But that being said, next up is Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. This does not seem like something I'd be interested in. The Daughter of the Pirate King, also by Trisha, is one of my favorite duologies like ever, and I did not think I would enjoy that at all before I read it. So I'm going to give this a shot. And actually, this one sounds more interesting than that one. And I love that one, and I wasn't interested in it, so I think I should love this one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. And that one had a really good romance. I don't care about romance, so whatever. I'm a mess. This book follows a girl who, she wants to become a warrior, but she, like, fails her test. So her dad, like, sends her away to this, like, monster-filled wilderness and basically tells her, like, she has to fight her way through and win back his honor, or her honor. That's what I know about this book, and honestly, like, I said I'm not that interested, but that shit sounds good. Like, why did I say that's not interesting? Like, now I'm pumped to read this, even more than I already was. And I'm assuming it's gonna have a good romance, because that's what Trisha seems to, like, really know what to do, so I'm excited about that, because I'm not a big romance reader, but I enjoy it when it's good. Next up is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. This book came out 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I don't fucking know. But I really wanted to read it ever since then. I don't know why. It's always drew my attention to it. It basically follows these two girls that, like, survive these airstrikes in London, I think is where they're from. They're from somewhere. And they kind of go to this new world, kind of like a Narnia-esque type thing where they go to these new worlds. Years later, they come back out to their own world, and when they come back, it's like nothing changed. Literally, no time has passed in the real world, even though a lot of time has passed from wherever they went, and yeah, one of the sisters kind of just trying to move on from this world, like, she's trying to just go on from there, nothing she can do about it, but the other sister obsesses over their fairytale land that they came from, is trying to get back. The one that's, like, obsessing over it goes missing, so the one that is trying to move on is like, gotta find this bitch, and that's kind of what this book's about, from what I know. That was a terrible synopsis. Oh my god, I was like, wow, I actually know what this book's about, I can tell you guys. And then I just said whatever I just said, but that's what you get, so. Excited. And this author, A Treason of Thorns, just came out last year, and I really want to read that too. Next up is And Then There Were Four by Nancy Werlin. I've never heard anyone read this. I saw this on Amazon randomly one day, and it sounded really interesting, so I added it to, like, my want to read, and then I saw it on Book Outlet, and I bought it. And basically this follows these 5 teenagers that have nothing to do with each other. They're all brought to this rooftop one day, trying to figure out, like, why they were summoned, and, like, an accident happened where it collapses, and all 5 of them escape. Then a second accident happened that does end up claiming the lives of one of them. And the other 4 kind of have to figure out, like, what the fuck is going on. Once again, one of my favorite tropes are, like, group of people that have no idea why they're connected, trying to figure out why they're connected, while also trying to, like, survive. Love that shit. So I got this book. Now we're gonna go to the opposite side of contemporary with Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. This book follows our main character. I think her name's Lucky, and she's a K-pop idol. So she's, like, very famous and whatever, and then she's at this hotel, and I think she's trying to get like a hamburger, it said, and then she meets this guy, and I think it just is a romance between this famous K-pop idol and this guy. For those that don't know, I recently, like 4 or 5 months ago, really got into BTS to the point where it's taking over my fucking life, and the K-pop fandom is a lifestyle, and I don't know if I can keep up. Regardless, I really want to read this because of that aspect. I think it'd be interesting just to read a book from that type of point of view. And I want to read all Maureen Goo's stuff. Like, she's been an author that I've really been looking at and been like, that shit sounds interesting, but I never read it. Also, look at the spine. Like, we love rainbows. So, oh my god, I'm wearing tie-dye. Oh, look how cute. Up next, I got There's Something About Sweety by Sandhya Menon. I have no idea what this is about. I'm not going to know what it's about. All I know is this is Sandhya Menon's first plus-size main character, so I'm really interested to read that. I have read From Twinkle with Love, enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I own When Dimple Met Rishi, but I haven't read it yet. I really want to. Sandhya Menon, even though I've only read 1 book by her, she's like an author that, like, I know is good. You know what I mean? Like, even though I've only read 1 book, I'm interested to read, like, everything she writes. So that's why I got this, even though I don't know what it's about. So, the first one of the 2 is The River at Night by Erica Ferencik. This book is a survival story, which is my favorite type of story to read. Like, if I could only read one type of story forever, it would be survival stories, like horror, survival, whatever. This follows this group of women, I think there's 4 of them. They go on this hiking and rafting trip. An accident happens that leaves them stranded, and they're just trying to survive. They find this shed, and I believe, like, these people that are, like, their saviors aren't really as good as I think. This is the type of book that, like, I don't want to know anything going into because there's not much plot to it. Like, you can't know too much going into it or else you're spoiled. So, very excited to read this. I'm probably going to read this soon. This is, I think, the book I'm most excited to read out of everything I'm hauling in this video. So, we're probably going to read it soon. This last book that I got is my first, like, Japanese, I think they're called light novels. Is that what they're called? Let me know down below if I'm wrong about that. But it is Boogie Pop. I think Boogie Pop or Bougie Pop. Probably Boogie Pop. This contains the first 3 volumes or stories. Like, there are some pictures in it, but for the most part, it's just words. But basically, this is, like, follows a Japanese urban legend about this girl named Boogie or Bougie Pop, or girl? I think it's girl. It might be a guy. I don't know. Follows this thing called the Boogie Pop, and basically, it takes the lives away from those that are in pain. So, I guess it's kind of like a Grim Reaper type thing, I guess, and it follows this academy where girls start going missing, and the student kind of, I think, is trying to figure out what's happening. All I know is I read on the back that it's told in a non-linear fashion, and you're supposed to try and piece it together along with the characters. It just sounds really interesting, and I want to try and get into these type of novels more because there's so much out there that, like, I haven't even, like, grazed, that I just kind of want to read more, expand my horizons. So, let me know down below if you have any recommendations for, like, light novels. Yeah, it says light novel right there, so I guess that's what they're called. Let me know down below if you have any recommendations, specifically horror. That's, like, my favorite type, so just let me know. But I'm going to read this, and there's 3 volumes, so I don't know how this works. It's almost 600 pages. And that's it. That's my Christmas book haul. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, like it. Let me know down below which of these books that you read and enjoyed so I can know what to read first, because I kind of got a lot and I don't even know where to fucking start. Plus, I have hella books on my shelves I haven't even read. I'm just a mess. I actually did really good in 2019, like, with my spending. I think I only had, like, 2 big splurges, and usually it's Book Outlet when I do that, so that's good to me. So, 2 big Book Outlet orders, I'll take it. Plus, I was buying books as they, like, came out, but it wasn't as bad as it was in recent years. In 2020, I'm going to try and cut back even more. I'm just going to get a few new releases every month, and that's it. But, bye.